McDonald, the senior management team for the department, and all guests, if we do have guests this morning. Ms. Jamke, I just need to confirm, do we have a quorum and can thus proceed? It certainly seems like it.
Morning, Chair, morning members. Yes, we do have a quorum. We can proceed.
Thank you very much, and also warm welcome to our procedural support, honorable members. Bright and early on this beautiful God-given Monday morning, we are engaged in vote 7, the 8th of December 2025, and where we will be deliberating on the adjustments to vote 7. The agenda for today's meeting have been shared with honorable members. We are also privileged to have our blue book with us. So first on the agenda, we will deliberate on vote 7, social development in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill, B5 for 2025, after which we will then consider the committee report and also adopt the report, and then deal with any resolution or action steps that may emanate from this discussion. I do not see that we do have any other committee business, so that will basically be our agenda. Members, for the record, I will now ask all to kindly introduce themselves. My name is Wendy Kaiser-Philander, and I'm the chairperson for this committee. I will ask all honorable members, and then Minister Lond and HOD McDonald to please take us through the attendance of the departmental officials. Thank you very much, honorable members. Please proceed.
Thomas Walters, I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Member Boyson, and I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Donita Stevens, and I'm a member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Johnson, and I am a permanent member of this committee.
Goeiemôre almal. My naam is François Kamp, ek is 'n lid van die komitee.
Goeiemôre almal. Ek is Rachel Windvogel, 'n alternative member of this committee.
Baie dankie. Is daar enige lid wat ons uitgelaat het? Then let's move over to Minister Lond.
Morning, Chairperson, morning, members of the committee and the DSD team. My name is Jacques Lund and I'm the Western Cape Minister for Social Development. Thank you.
HOD McDonald.
There we go. Apologies, Chair. I think my computer froze for a second there. I'm Robert MacDonald. Good morning, Honourable Chair, Honourable members of the Standing Committee and Honourable Minister, as well as colleagues from the department. I am the Head of Department for Social Development in the Western Cape. Shall I ask my colleagues to introduce themselves, Chairperson?
Definitely so. Thank you very much, HOD.
All right, I'll ask Ms. Van Reenen and then Mr. Jordan, Mr. Holly, and in the order of as they appear on the list.
Indeed.
Good morning, Chairperson and honorable members. I'm Annemie van Reenen, the Chief Director for Service Delivery Management and Coordination.
Good morning, members, Minister and HOD. I'm Charles Jordan. I'm the Chief Director for Children, Families and Vulnerable Groups. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. Denver Holly, Director for Finance.
Morning,
Good
Chair.
morning, Chair. Honorable members, Minister and HOD. I'm Zondi Leu, Chief Director for Community and Partnership Development. Thank you.
Good morning, members. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Minister, HOD and colleagues. My name is Gavin Miller. I'm the Director for Research and Information Management.
Good morning, Chair, honourable members. Leona Goosen, Chief Director, Social Welfare and Restorative Services.
Good morning, members, Minister, HOD and colleagues. Juan Smith, CFO for the department.
Good morning all, Tasneem Rakib, Director, Supply Chain Management.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Minister, HOD members, Monique Mortlock-Malgas, Imalo to Minister Lund.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. Good morning, Minister Bernard Latchit, Head of Ministry, to the Minister Yapelond.
Good morning, Chair, members, Minister, HOD and colleagues. Siam Liftauchdien, Director, Business Planning and Monitoring.
Thank you very
Chair.
much.
That's all of them.
Good morning, members, Chairperson, Minister and HOD, Petronel van Wyk, Acting Director, Operational Management Support.
Thank you very much. And HOD, does that cover the team?
Yes, Chair. I think that's everyone now. Sorry, I missed Miss Van Wyk, but yeah, I think that's everyone, Chair. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you very much. I haven't received any apologies on my side. Let me just confirm with our procedural officer.
No apology, Chair.
Thank you very much. Let us proceed then. Colleagues, the purpose of this meeting this morning is to deliberate on Vote 7, Social Development in the Schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill B5 of 2025. I will now ask Minister Lund to please give us a brief overview remark in terms of the budget of the department. If we can please ask that you, if possible, Minister, limit that to say 5 minutes or so. And then HOD, if you would want to add something, you are most welcome to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will keep it short. From my side, I mean, this is built on several years of good financial discipline by everybody within the department. It is not just the HOD, the chief directors that take responsibility for this. This is every staff member at all levels that take responsibility to ensure that we have 14 consecutive clean audits. And with the little that's entrusted to the department, we are looking after that. Although with the adjustment budget, we would love to have a lot more, we also understand that government is under severe pressures, and we are grateful for the additional funding that was given to us. This is largely also due to gaps identified not just by the officials but also yourself and the committee. So I do think that that is also credit to the committee for what you have done in your oversight role of the department, the constructive way you raise issues with us, which empowers us to also then go and fight for additional funding from Treasury and making sure that we look after the most vulnerable in our province. On a whole, we are one of the departments that did get an increase, and I want to say thank you also to HOD and the team that have put forward our arguments, and also to the Western Cape Government, the Treasury, for hearing our pleas and trying their best to accommodate some of the needs. Chairperson, that's shortly from my side. I can now hand over to the HOD. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. HOD.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to the Minister for the support. We are looking at a relatively small shift compared to some of the other departments, perhaps, but the main shift is that we are receiving some additional funding, which we will have the details of in the budget document, but it's particularly to benefit the NPO sector by and large. Which is a huge need. So we're very pleased about that. And it's looking especially at older persons and also in disabilities, some additional funds, as well as for mental health preventative services. So I think we're very positive about the additional money, and then there's also some shifts away from the compensation of employees. We've had a lot of exits this year, and we've had some savings on compensation. So some of that funding is then shifting towards the NPO sector as well. We basically, as a general approach, we are trying to, wherever we can, find funds to shift that to the NPO sector to support the struggling sector. So I think the numbers should tell that story when you look through the budget documents. But I think the rest of the detail, I'm sure we can go into when we go through the document itself. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD, and thank you very much to Minister as well for giving us some proactive insight into the key movements within this departmental budget. Honourable members, I will now table the adjustment appropriation budget. We will deal with it in 3 sections. So we just go back and forth in the blue book. So we can start on page 157, honourable members, up until page 164. If there are members that have any questions on those pages, please indicate so by raising your hand. I recognize the Honourable Member Stevens. You may proceed, Member.
Thank you, Chair. Under page 157 under Program 1, how will the adjustment allocation strengthen administrative capacity, especially monitoring NPO performance and ensuring funds are efficiently used for community impact? And on page 158, Program 2, given the adjustments, how will the department ensure that services for children at risk, victims of abuse, and older persons are not compromised but improved despite budget shifts? And on page 160, based on the adjustment, what steps will the department take to improve substance abuse treatment services, ensure that youth at risk receive timely interventions? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for your 3 questions, and also referring to the pages, Member. It makes it just so much easier, especially since we are online. Appreciative. Members, I don't see any further hands on those specific pages. I will then hand over to you, Minister. And you, just before I do, I see the hand of Member Benvogel. May I proceed, Member?
Apologies. Thank you, Chair. My apologies, Chair. I was not sure in terms of the pages.
Pages 157 to 164.
Yes. Okay. I do have 2 questions on those pages, Chair.
You
Sorry
may proceed,
for
Member.
interrupting. Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, my first question is on page 160. Chair, we note with serious concern the nearly 4 million in nutrition fund that were not spent due to the delays in outsourcing nutrition services at the Sivile residential facility. For me, this is a critical matter and we need a clear explanation from the department in terms of what caused the delays in outsourcing the nutrition services and when will the outsourcing process be completed and what is the current situation at the facility? Do residents have enough food? And secondly, Chair, we need to understand why unspent nutrition funds were redirected to cover items such as security increases, and what is the justification for the shift, given that nutrition is an essential service for vulnerable residents. Then on page 64, my last question, Chair.
You mean 164, member?
Yeah, 164, sorry, Chair.
Sure.
164, Chairperson, we also note and welcome the 21 million increased allocations from the provincial government. Last week, the MEC for Finance makes really bold commitments in a midterm budget policy statement. And she spoke about the reduction in number of young people who are not in employment, education, or training. But she will reduce that by 10% or by 2030, reducing the percentage of people living below the poverty line, and so on and so on. I really want to understand, how does this budget speak? How does this budget speaks to that? If I can get an understanding, I think I will park there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Windvogel. And then I see Member Kamfer.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me, Chair?
Yes, Member, you may proceed.
Yes, Chair. Chair, I lose my connection now, but I'm now ready. I will start in page 157. Is it fine with Chair?
Page 157, yes, Member.
Thank you, Chair. 157, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I welcome the overall funds for the department, Chair, for 34 million. I am very appreciated for that, Chair, for the department and also for the staff, Chair. I am only one question at that on this page 1.7, 157.
Yes.
I see, Chair, there's a 34 million. Chair, my question is, what older persons or what building, what facilitator will have benefit on that 34 million, Chair? That's my first question. For example, wat ek in gedagte het miskien, of wat ek aan dink, is die Kraaifontein Mitchellsplein. Is dit part of that 34 million, Chair? And then my other question is, what extra benefit is there for the 34 million, Chair? And then on page 158, Chair, how many vacancy positions is there, Chair, still? And when will that fill it, Chair? That is my fourth question. In 157, what facilities will benefit? Is there, for example, is budget for Kraaifontein, or is the part of that? That is my question. Is Kraaifontein and Mitchellsplein maybe part of that 34 million? Thank you, Chair.
Baie dankie, lid Kamfer. HOD McDonald, I will now refer to you, and you can then, as you see fit, refer specific questions to your departmental officials. Over to you, HOD. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think I'll start with Honourable Stephen's questions first, and then work from the beginning, if that's in order with you. And then where necessary, I'll also ask my colleagues to assist with inputs where they can add more detail. I think firstly, from Honourable Member Stevens, how will we be strengthening NPO monitoring for community impact? I think the one of the things that we've agreed to do, which is relevant to this, is that we are going to start. Oh, I see Honourable Member Comfort's hand is up, Chairperson. I don't know if that's something you want to take before I proceed.
No, Chair. No, Chair. No, Chair. It's old end. Sorry, OCD.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Chair. Just we'll continue then. The department is going to be introducing rapid spot checks to NPOs in addition to its normal scheduled NPO visits. So this will require a little bit of additional funding because that requires more vehicle costs, but it's not a huge cost. But there's going to now be routine spot checks on all NPOs in addition to our in-depth monitoring and evaluation visits, which I think is going to be useful to pick up where there might be issues in between the routine monitoring. So that is one of the things that we are going to be doing, to be checking to make sure NPOs are delivering and using their funds for the intended purpose, and also that they're having an impact in communities. I think in addition to that, I mean, we are always in the process of evaluating the programs that we fund. We do in-depth monitoring of those, and we do annually we do evaluations on different types of services through our research unit in the department, where we look at things like the benefits and impact of programs. So it's a combination of rapid spot checks, as well as more in-depth assessments of the programs, and then very in-depth impact and quality research projects. So I think that's the approach that we use as our assurance for the services we fund, but also the Auditor General does do spot checks as well on the NPOs, and reports back on use of funding, as well as on performance information, the integrity of the performance information that we gather from the NPOs, to make sure that they are actually being truthful with what they're reporting to us. So there is additional assurance from the Auditor General. I think there's also a lot of other ways informally that we get a sense of quality from the NPOs that we fund, because we get feedback from communities, we get feedback from stakeholders, and also from our own local offices that work with the NPOs. So there's quite a lot of feedback channels that we use. I think this budget enables us to do the necessary travel and things like that, though, so that we can increase our monitoring visits. I think that's the specific purpose of this and next year's budget. We will be including some additional funds for that purpose. Chairperson, I see Honourable Member Walters' hand. I don't know if you would like me to pause there.
Member Walters, is that a new question?
Chair, it's a follow-up question. I've just put my hands up in anticipation. I did not want to disrupt the speaker.
Okay, members, can I please ask not to break the momentum for the responses? Please just refrain from raising your hands during the feedback. Please raise them afterwards in order for me to acknowledge you then. Otherwise, the HOD must consistently be stopping and going on. Thank you, members. Please proceed. Thank you, HOD.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think the question from Honourable Member Stevens about ensuring children's services for children, vulnerable children, and victims of abuse will not be impacted by the shifts. I think the intention is actually to benefit these services for children because we're not taking funds away from those services. We are actually making sure that we in this budget increase funds, particularly for children with who are at risk who are suffering from mental health challenges, and putting some additional funds into that. And then also we are in the process as well of looking at creating some additional social work posts to take up some more of the capacity in the child protection sector. That's not going to be reflected in the adjustment budget now in the next 3 months, but it is going to be reflected into the new year. So we don't see any negative impacts for child protection services in the shifts that are happening now. In terms of the improvement of substance use disorder services for youth, we are in the process of expanding our secure care capacity at the moment, and we will be expanding that will enable us then to be providing substance use treatment services to more children who come into those facilities, because at the moment we provide substance abuse treatment services in all of our secure care facilities. And those services are then going to be available to more children as we expand. That is a multi-year project at the moment, but currently we have already made additional space available for children in the Kensington Treatment Centre that used to be for adults, but we've now converted it into a space for the children from our facilities to be able to stay and receive those services. So we're continuing to expand access to substance abuse treatment services for young people in the facility environment. But then also we still are running our school-based drug treatment programs and our under 18 treatments programs in substance abuse treatment centres that are funded in the NGO sector. So we do have capacity in those spaces as well. The question from Honourable Member Windvogel, the shift of funds from the catering budget at Sibuyile, I'll ask Ms. Querson to speak to that, and then also why that went to security.
Yes, the allocation for catering, specifically for CVL, was a once-off catering, once-off enhancement to that budget for the equipment of a kitchen, as well as then the insourcing of that service, so that we can have our own contract for the provision of catering services. This, however, currently we are receiving catering services from Stickland Hospital since 2016, and that will be ongoing until we will be able to insource it. We thought we will be able, because the indication was that the kitchens, upgrades and everything would have been finalized timeously for this financial year to do that. Unfortunately, due to the fire at Sibuyile, that was delayed and the kitchen could not be finalized so that we can provide our own catering services. And therefore, we will continue to utilize and pay for the catering services as currently is the arrangement with the Stickland Hospital. So the children, the people are fed, nothing changed except it's not ourselves doing the preparation. The reason why the money was then diverted is due to the pressing need to enhance the safety of our staff. As we know through previous questions also by this committee, that our staff are being at risk when transporting transport to certain areas. That includes the safety of staff in our facilities, and we will utilize that funding to enhance that security upgrades as well as security within the centres for this financial year. And then ongoing years, the funding would then be allocated to catering again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Goosen. HOD, does that cover the first round of response?
No, Honourable Chair, there's still a few questions I need to reply to.
You're welcome.
Okay, if with your permission, I'll continue. Yeah, there's no loss of nutrition. It's just the contractual arrangements around that. And we have, you might recall, a few years ago, Seville was transferred to us from the Department of Health, which came with an arrangement that Stiplan Hospital provided the food there. So we're just in the process of taking over that, and then there was that funding will still be used once the time is ready. We will still be procuring the kitchen equipment for Seville so that they can in-source. It's just more efficient for them rather than them continuing to have to get food from the main Stiplan Hospital. Yeah, that's the change there. But there's certainly no risk to the residents. The question from Honourable Member Windvogel on the 21 million increase from the Treasury, I think there's a number of budget priorities that were spelled out in the medium-term budget policy statement, which the Minister of Finance communicated in her speech. The funding that we're receiving, I mean, it serves a number of those priority areas, particularly looking at improving the well-being of the elderly, and also the well-being of disabled persons and vulnerable groups. The priority indicators that were raised in the medium-term budget policy statement speak to safety, or the safety priority, and DST's role in the safety priority, as well as the priority for an educated, healthy and caring society. And those indicators are looking at the collective impact that our departments make. So social development has got a major role in the safety priority, particularly through our facilities and the proper functioning of our facilities. The funds that we use in our facility environment support the finance minister's objectives as stated in her speech. And I mean, this isn't, of course, just for the short term, for the 3 months. It's a multi-year objective. And the shifting of funds in this budget in particular are focused on the EHACS priorities and the educated, healthy and caring society priority. Sorry, that's the acronym for it. Around the child well-being, as well as older persons and vulnerable groups. So I think the shifts that you're seeing here certainly lend themselves to that. But of course, our budget, as it stands already, is geared towards that, particularly with the priority on child protection services. And you'll see that continuing into the new financial year, together with the expansion of secure care, which is of particular importance to the safety priority. So those are some of the things. I think it would take a long time to go into all the details of that. But if you look at our budget overall, you'll see that those things are the priorities in our department. The questions from Honourable Member Kamfer, the question of which facilities will benefit from the additional funds. I think the additional funds for older persons will go to all the residential older persons centres across the province. So it will be across all parts of the province. It's really designed to try and help the old age homes, which are at the moment struggling significantly with their finances, but also in particular, we are going to focus on areas where we have a lot of poorer older persons who need placement in old age homes. The thing that we are picking up a lot in social development in our local communities is that there are older persons who are not necessarily frail, but they have no means to care for themselves, and they're ending up in homeless shelters and also in suboptimal housing arrangements. So we are having to find spaces for them in the old age homes. So the additional funds are particularly aimed firstly at as bringing some more bed spaces online for the older persons who are not necessarily frail, but who need a space to stay and have no funds of their own. That's the first category. And then also we are bringing additional funding in for the provision of extra care to older persons in the facilities, and that goes to all facilities across the province for older persons. So I think in terms of the question about whether Mitchell's Plain and Kraaifontein are included, yes, they will be included. Excuse me, Chair. And then lastly, the vacant positions in the department. I will ask Ms. Van Wyk just to provide an update on that if she has that those numbers available now.
Thank you, HOD. Ms. Van Wyk. Ms. Van Wyk, you may proceed.
I think we may have lost Ms. Van Wyk, but we can provide that in a breakdown. It's I don't have the exact number, so I don't want to give incorrect information to the committee. But it is a shifting target, so it's better if we give it to you in writing. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Indeed, our procedural officer will note for us to request further information on that. Thank you very much. And then I recognize Honourable Member Walters.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to be referring to page 157 and 164 as it interrelates with one another. And there's first of all, two comments I want to make. The one is I certainly welcome the emphasis that is placed on resourcing the coalface where people need help. So in a sense, you can see the caring part reflected in the budget, the way the money is shifted. I never want to say it's not ballooning at the top at administration. You can see where money is to be found. It's sent to the areas where there's the most need. And secondly, Chair, I would like to also compliment yourself and the committee. I think our oversight visits and what we saw in our oversight visits is also, I think, reflected in what we are seeing here. So that's a good feeling to have if you're a member of this committee. Chair, just in terms of the support that's been referred to for old age homes and the shifts that's taking place towards MPOs. In terms of the monitoring of those MPOs, we noticed that often a lot of the problems start with, call it leadership struggles, call it constitutions of these MPOs either being insufficient or alternatively not being adhered to. And I wanted to know to what extent the department police adherence to constitutions of these MPOs, and alternatively, to what extent is it part of the conditions of financial support? And Chair, I think we all have in our back of our minds still the situation that we dealt with as a committee at the Vermont Old Age Home in Knysna. To what extent is call it institutional soundness of the MPOs part of the criteria that you look at? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Member Walters. Just to remind members, we have dealt with the first round of questions. Pages 157 to 164, we've received response from the HOD. I will now then ask for follow-up questions based on the response received. Member Van Vogel.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just to get clarity on my question raised on page 164. are the HODs saying that the budget will give like an effect on the commitments made by the MEC, especially in reducing the need rate, lowering poverty levels, improving food security, and strengthening GBV intervention? If I just get that in short straight. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Van Vogel. Over to you, HOD.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think for the question from Honourable Member Walters, the department does use institutional soundness as a criteria. We are obliged to, in terms of the PFMA, ensure that where we provide transfer funding, that the institutions we've provided to are able to properly account for the funds used, and we also monitor adherence to constitutions and compliance with the NPO Act. The difficulty is always that you know, as the honourable members observed, the leadership struggles at NPOs can be very much outside of the department's control. We adopt a developmental approach to NPOs, so we try to avoid a situation where we stop funding them entirely, if we can. So we try to walk a road with them first before making a call on whether or not to continue funding. If, of course, there is theft or misuse of funding, then we stop that immediately. But if there is more of a developmental problem where the NPO is not 100% compliant with its constitution, then we work with the NPO first before making a call on whether to stop funding the organization. It is particularly tricky with residential homes because if people are living there, then making a decision to stop funding the home will normally then require that we find alternative accommodation for those people. So it is a last resort in many instances where if there are problems at a NPO with adherence to the Constitution, where we will try very hard first to get them compliant. But if it continues to be a problem, then we have to then stop funding, and there are a number of examples where we have done this, but it's, as I say, a last resort. I think the reality is that the NPOs across the board do struggle to recruit board members who have the requisite skills to provide that management oversight at NPOs, and it's a reality that we have to work within. But it's a difficult decision to take if you do stop funding an organization, because there are people involved, the beneficiaries, who will be affected by that. The other aspect is also that sometimes these matters end up in court, and then we have to let those court processes run their course. But our focus will always be on the well-being of the residents or clients of an NPO, and if they are being negatively affected, then we have to step in and take measures in their best interest. But often also the properties involved and buildings are owned by the NPO as well. So it means then that we have limited control over what happens at the NPO. The other thing that we found to be quite useful as well is sometimes we can get a larger, more established NPO to step in and provide administrative support and disperse funds at an NPO to make sure that the beneficiaries still receive the service, but we mitigate the service risks coming from the NPO itself, where there are management or governance issues. The question from Honourable Member Van Vogel. So yes, the budget we have tabled today will certainly contribute to reducing poverty, GBV, youth not in employment or education and training. We've covered all of those areas. I think if you look at the budget, the additional amounts are small shifts. So, I mean, this is building on the back of the annual budget, which is driven by those priorities. And you will see those priorities again in the new financial year and in the outer years of the MTEF. So I think it does align. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Honorable members, that brings us to the end of round one. We will now move over to pages 165 to 170. And members, please indicate those that have questions on those specific pages, please. 165 to 170. I do not see any hands. Honorable members, that brings us then to pages 171 to 176. That deals with the annexures. Any questions? I do not see any hands on my side.
My hand is up, Chair.
Apologies, Member Van Vogel, please proceed. Just indicate your page, please.
Thank you, Chair. My page is on page 173, table 7.9, point of reference, social welfare services. Chair, we note the decrease in both the social relief budget and the over 21 million reduction in compensation of employees. Can we please get a clear reason for the cuts? What caused the reduction in the social relief budget and what led to the more than 21 million decrease in the compensation of employees budget? Finally, Chair, how will these reductions affect service delivery, especially for vulnerable households? Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Van Vogel. And that is, I see, the only hand for this round. HOD, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I will ask the CFO just to speak to the reduction in the sustainable livelihoods and the compensation of employees items. CFO, if you'd like to respond to that.
Chair, mainly this is for our vehicles to ensure that there is humanitarian relief that we can provide in terms of the vehicles that we need. Obviously, also the kilometers and things that will be utilized for sustaining those vehicles in itself.
Thanks, CFO. The question was also about the reduction in the social relief and the reduction in COE.
Yes, Chair, through you. Again, the reduction in the compensation is our vacancies, as the HOD has indicated upfront already, that we have many exits, and then when we do appoint, we also in some cases appoint staff internally, so there is promotions that is also done, which means that our funding outlay is less in terms of that. And as I mentioned with the exits, because we have in some cases planned exits where some of our staff retires, but there's also the unplanned exits, and in order to fill those vacancies takes some time in terms of that, and that also then causes a reduction in itself. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, CFO. Member Van Vogel, any follow-up question?
No, it's fine, Chair. I
You're
didn't
covered?
get the social relief so clearly, but it's fine, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Van Vogel. Honorable members, that brings us then to the part of our agenda Ms. Jamke, I did not have any indication up until now if there are any members of the public that wish to make submission on the adjustment appropriation budget or ask any questions. But if
No
there
members of the
are,
public, Chair. We
my
don't have
apologies.
any members of the public.
Thank you very much for the confirmation, Ms. Jamke. And at this point, honorable members, I will now afford Minister Lund and HOD McDonald to make any closing remarks on the session.
HOD, you can go first.
HOD.
Okay, thank you, Minister. Thank you, Chairperson. I think just to say that we don't work in isolation with this budget. We are one department within the provincial government, and a lot of the work we are now doing is collaborative. We work transversally on things like nutrition support. The Department of Health has launched a major initiative aimed at reducing malnutrition and stunting among children. There's also a mental health support that is being spearheaded by health that we in education, some other departments like cultural affairs and sport also support, and then the safety priority where we provide social crime prevention services and so on. So there's a lot of collaboration that goes into this and into us meeting objectives, and I think even things like the old age homes and NPOs that we work with the municipalities also assist us and support not only with providing registration and clearance for or meeting registration conditions through health clearance and fire safety and so on, but also flagging issues where they pick things up. And then, of course, we work with the judiciary and others. So we are reliant on our partners, not only in the NPO sector, but across government. I think the adjustment budget is going to enable us to go that bit further because we are able to support the NPO sector better than we were earlier this year. So we're very pleased about the extra funds for the NPO sector to strengthen our partnership approach. But yeah, just to say thank you very much to the finance team and to the department officials who've put this work together, and also to the minister for his support in us tabling this adjustment budget. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, HOD. Minister Lund.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I really want to just highlight this. When we talk about the whole of society approach, I mean, this is where it comes to life. We have a department that punches far above their weight, doing a lot. Even when I have suggestions or ideas, there's not resistance. There's a can-do attitude and finding a way of trying new things, being innovative. So to the department side and to the officials there, led by HOD McDonald, thank you so much for what you're doing. It really is an honor and a privilege working with you. To the NGOs, our partners in civil society, and as the HOD also said, other government spheres. I mean, it really can only work, and this is why I truly believe we are the leading department of social development in the country, is because we have this environment and this working together relationship. So a special appreciation to the NGOs, other spheres of government that take our hands, and then Chairperson, you and the committee for keeping us on our toes. Thank you for that as well. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to the next year. I hope you and all the members have a blessed festive season, spend time with your loved ones, recharge the battery so we can hit the new year running. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Minister. And I think on behalf of the committee, to yourself, the HOD, and really the entire departmental team, thank you that we could again thoroughly engage with you this morning. And I think honorable members will agree that what we have in front of us is really a budget that speaks to the lived realities of our people in the province. And I think Member Walters made mention in terms of our oversight role and how we can definitely see that transforming into this budget as well. So from strengthening support for our older persons to expanding mental health interventions for our children and youth. And these are not just numbers, they are lifelines for families across the Western Cape. We have also noted in this adjustment budget, there's also room for ICT upgrades. And I think we should value that and stating clearly that when a system works, services work, especially in a technology-driven world that we are in. So we also appreciate the department's commitment to staying efficient, secure, and compliant as well. I think I can also really confidently say on behalf of the committee that your transparency and the readiness to account to us as the committee really gave us the confidence as well to do our work. Thank you once again, Minister HOD McDonald, the entire team present this morning, but those in the trenches, on the front line. Thank you very much for your professionalism. Thank you very much for your honesty. And thank you very much for continuing to put our communities at the center, the very center of your efforts. We really look forward to walking this journey with you as we build a province where dignity, care, and opportunity are not just promises, but they are indeed lived experiences. And also from our side, we wish you a most blessed festive season with your loved ones. Please be safe wherever you find yourself, and God's richest blessings upon the very important work that you are doing. Thank you so much. I then will now excuse Minister HOD and the department to go ahead your business for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson
Thank
and honourable
you.
members.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Members, please do not exit as we will be dealing with our committee report. Or first, let me just ask first, any resolutions, Ms. Jamke, that you have noted?
Right, it's only one from member Kamfa, which is detailed overview of vacant position within the Department of Social Development.
Thank you very much. Member Van Vogel.
No, I think Nomonde have captured that because I also wanted, Chair, that we need really as how many posts remain vacant because delays in the recruitment, because of delays in the recruitment process. And then when will these posts be filled, especially given that the funds are not being rolled over, but are now being shifted to other expenses. Because we need certainty on this, Chair, because these vacancies directly affect service delivery. But I think a member Comfort have covered that, but if we can just be more specific in terms of what we need, what type of information we need. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Van Vogel. We've got that captured. Member Walters.
Hang on, wrong button. My apologies, Chair. Chair, I'm put up my hand to propose support of this vote.
Thank you very much, Member Walters. Let us just flag the proposal. Will you put that on the screen for us, please, Ms. Jamke? You can perhaps just slightly enhance the font. Can you just make it a bit bigger, please? Honourable members, I now table the report as the standing report of the Standing Committee on Social Development on vote 7, social development, the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill, B5 for 2025, dated the 8th of December 2025 as follows. The Standing Committee on Social Development, having deliberated on the subject of vote 7, social development, in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill B5 for 2025, refer to it in accordance with Standing Rule 188, reports that the committee supports or does not support the vote. I will now ask, or there was an indication already for support, and it is thus recorded as Member Walters that indicated his support for vote 7. Can I ask if there is a seconder for this proposal?
My hand is up, Chair. I propose a secondment for Member Walters.
Thank you very much. Your secondment are then duly noted and recorded for the support. I now ask if there's another party that does not support the vote. Can you kindly indicate as such? I recognize, as I see the hands on my screen, the Honourable Van Vogel.
No, it's a legacy and Chair.
Thank you. I recognize Member Comfer.
Thank you, Chair. Chair is the ANC. I do not support this vote of vote 7, die begroting van vote 7 volgens Route 19.
Thank you very much, Member Comfer, and the ANC's minority view on vote 7 are then duly noted and recorded. I recognize the Honourable Member Kasim.
Morning, Chairperson. The EFF does not support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member Kasim, and also the minority view expressed by the EFF are then also noted and duly recorded. Honourable members, we will then now move over to the adoption of the report. I see hands on my screen. Are those legacy hands, colleagues? Member Walters and Member Johnson?
Chair, I
And Member
propose
Boyce.
adoption of the report.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Just afford me the opportunity to read it into the record. As such, the report of the Standing Committee on Social Development on vote 7, social development in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill, B5 of 2025, dated the 8th of December 2025, as follows. The Standing Committee on Social Development, having deliberated on the subject of vote 7, social development in the schedule to the Western Cape Adjustment Appropriation Bill, B5 of 2025, refer to it in accordance with Standing Rule 188, reports that the committee supports the vote. In terms of Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress and the Economic Freedom Fighters express their minority view to not support the vote. The committee thus then supports the vote with a minority view of the ANC and the EFF duly noted and recorded. Honourable members, can I ask for the adoption of the report? Member Walters?
Chair, I propose adoption of the report.
Thank you very much. And then Member Johnson?
I second the proposal from Member Walters, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, honourable members. The committee report are then duly noted, recorded, and as thus adopted as well. Ms. Jumke, are there any other committee business that we need to deal with? Not according to our agenda, but if you can kindly confirm.
No, Chair, but during the course of today, I'm going to send the confirmation of attendance to the members for the upcoming SASSA stakeholder engagement. I need to start the logistical arrangement before we close. So members, it will be appreciated if you could confirm your attendance so that we can do the bookings on time, because when we come back and we might not have enough time for bookings for logistical arrangement. So I will send the email during the course of today.
Ms. Jamke, just on that, we did not have an opportunity to speak to it before now, but I have received some information from the Chief Whip that there was some discussions with the Secretary of Parliament based on the first quarter program, and specifically the parliamentary program for January. So there might be, in all likelihood, be a constituency period during the time, but I will just talk to you offline about that, and that will then impact on our planned outreaches during the month of January. But as soon as I have written confirmation on that, I will then engage with you on that matter. Thank you very much, Ms. Jamke. Appreciate. Honorable members, that deals with our business this morning. Thank you very much for your engagement. It is much appreciated, and all the best with the proceedings of the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Be blessed and be safe.
Yeah.
The meeting is now formally
Thank you,
adjourned.
Chair.
Thank you, members.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Chair.